Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Adela Oshodi, and I'm not here this morning to grease your palms or make you feel good about anything. I'm just the reality voice, the check voice. So I ask, are you, Nigerians, enjoying the terrorist? You love Gumi the way he negotiates with the terrorists that are the same people killing her children. Why are you not rejoicing at that? I would like to this morning deliberately speak to the sensible ones amongst us. I'm a believer that God understands the weakness of the flesh, but what he will not pardon is hypocrisy. And I dare say that a lot of you Nigerians are hypocrites. If not, how come everybody that fights for you are the ones you try to destroy? How come it is everybody that decides not to be friends with certain people that are victimized? This morning, I'm going to draw the parallel. You have Gumi and the Northern Caliphate. You have the terrorist, and then you have the Nigerians. The terrorist, Gumi, the presidency and the elites, and you have their voices loudest because they carry the biggest power. Now, for years, we've been at this Lizzie Anjorin Lawal's case. And she has brought all evidences to show that she was being blackmailed. But you choose to listen to side talks. The most of you have done is say, those people are theater people. Oh, those people are all the same. I don't care. You stand in the protection of your godliness because you think they're too little for you to pay attention and before your eyes. Just like before the eyes of the presidency. These blackmailers. Now, let me go back a few. I'll be mentioning some names. You know Esabod. You know there's nothing on her decent about that woman. You know the Casa de Inca. All these people that I've mentioned have done nothing for lives but destroy them. You know Gistlover, a syndicate that has destroyed a lot of homes in Nigeria and nothing good about her. You witness the exposure of Iyabo Ojo and certain people under that. And then comes in the Yoruba Nollywood industry and all the failures in there. I can relate. So I understand your inability to believe that people are functioning like that. But if you could take real testimony, no, not the one they did to the Senate president, that Gistlover asked him to come out and he had to come out. This kind of powers have existed in Nigeria for a long time. People that thrive on 419 from before I came here. I was not 28 years, so this thing has been going on since about 30, 40 years ago. When you hear 419, which you don't oftentimes hear these days, it is not new. Yes, a lot of them have connections and contacts, but not on the level that you think they do. The person that I know, actually, that I'm going to be drawing inferences from, knows more than 20 kings, but she doesn't know them directly. Knows them because the brothers or sisters or family members of those in power, as kings, as governors, are those that are also corrupt and in the 419 business with them. Nigerians don't use influences and connections well. You use them to draw trouble, to oppress people and run back to the influences of those that you know. And that is what has been happening. You will hear, I know King Lagbaja, I know King Tamedu. But when you look at the connections that these people are trying to reap from, they're connections of their ex-victims or relatives of those that have tried to change their ways. So it doesn't matter what influences you think such people carry. It doesn't mean anything. I realize that a lot of Nigerians act like they have nothing to lose and they don't want to be bothered with certain things that are not in the league or they can't benefit from. But the rich amongst us don't think like that. If you look at Lizzy Anjorin Lawal, the day they tried to burn her alive at Idumota was the beginning of the opening of doors for her, where it was not just her effort and wisdom now elevating her, joining hands together to raise her, but everybody around the world that had something to lose, a sense, some akikonju, you know, that inborn effort to make it in life, started thinking, how can I bless this girl? How can I raise her up beyond the reach of these animals? Joko Tade is there. All of them are there for the past 10 years. I keep repeating, long before, but for the past 10 years. You see all the useless Nollywood industry actors gathered together. Gist Lover is the most evil tool. Gist Lover is the Gumi of Nigeria. And you that are supporting this oppression and the attempt at offing the life of Lizzy Anjorin, you are just as good as this ineffective government. The terrorist, useless Nollywood actors, those of them that realize that in Nigeria movies don't pay. Being actors and actresses cannot pay if you remain on the local level. You have to go international. Those ones, the Igbo said, the Hausas are comfortable in their small gains. You know, they have people who help. In Nigeria, you can work as hard as they come. You can work as hard as they come. But God has to lift somebody that is higher and richer than you. Somebody that's richer than you, bigger than you, to notice you, to uplift you, and then you can continue that effort that begins to breed gains. Look at Lizzy Anjorin. She speaks Hausa. And you tried, so many times you have tried to publicly destroy her until people like me, even without money, notice what you have been doing. What will make a sector. And this woman keeps telling you, Gist Lover and our international syndicate from Canada to Germany to London and all the poor people in Nigeria that have never set eyes on this woman. You keep hounding her. Lizzy didn't give birth to her children. The husband's home must break. Esabod has been pushing. Iyabo Ojo has been talking. Everywhere they have taken her to. Are you surprised that the Nigerian government that you have been crying to help you have not listened? Because there are people there that are sensible. When she brings out a fact, it tells them that she is the victim. And that was your bayon in broad daylight. Look at the terrorists. They've gotten so bold to come on social media, distributing money from blood, asking you when they kidnap our fathers and mothers, our sons and daughters, to pay ransom. You run around and pay them ransom, only for you to end up coming to pick the carcass, the composing body, not life. And yet you say there is no genocide. There is genocide. Can we all agree that there is genocide? God is going to punish us until we see the truth about how we are. A lackadaisic attitude where you now find help. See, when there was attack on the pipelines in Port Harcourt, sometime in March, our president declared state of emergency, but he has not declared that on your missing children. for the sake of the students and parents and fathers getting killed. His wife, Madam Oluremi, came out to say we ought to thank her, because that's what that conversation resulted into. We should be thanking her for making them give Nnamdi Kanu a life imprisonment instead of death sentence, because you don't value life. See, for people like me and like him, we'd rather you kill us once and for all and leave us out of the problems of Nigeria. The way Delegiwa was blown up in a bomb, the way you executed Ken Saro-Wiwa for the wrong reasons, it is better to kill those you catch. Putting people in life imprisonment, after a while, will begin to make them crazy. That will be me. I see that happening to me. What am I saying this morning? Lizzie Anjorin was a theater practitioner. And everybody knows, if you don't have anything to lose or God hasn't put glory upon your heads, I understand that you may not know how you walk into a room and without even having said a word or anything, you see certain energy coming your way because you will not be like them. I don't have friends that we go together to connect me to big men, which is what 50% of Nigerian women know how to do. Sex in exchange for money, even if they carry the highest degree. Obo, atifobo, making your life work better with what you have is a primary mentality of an average Nigerian woman. It takes us, Sister Me and Rama, it takes some of us that God has found to say, you know what, I don't want to do that. For my dignity's sake, I just want to be different. I remember the home that I come from. I'm not ready to take the risk and the insultive way that this so-called rich men, they take you to. We all know what is going on. But our denial is trying to expose the victim and translate her into the aggressor. Nigeria is not going to go anywhere because you have not come into full recognition of the way that the people you are supporting and the sides that you're on is. You want to know how difficult it is being abroad. You may not even know that. Maybe that is why some of you in Nigeria are supporting that. I know people that lived on 419 forever. I know them, their houses, their lands and everything was gained by being 419ers. Today, they are amongst your elite. I know their genesis. That's why I try to stay out of stuff. And I thank God that I've never seen any of them on my page trying to dispute what I say, or I will come with names and factor. I will ask them to calculate the contract they got, who paid them, and how they made their money. 419 rent Adebendel is now a pastor. It will testify to the fact of what I'm saying. There are many that are still living that life now. Àwọn ex-convicts, drug addicts, tongba position ti pin yala ya mi ò lè dé. God will punish you all for your hypocrisy. You see somebody living a life. She refuses to be part of your hypocrisy. She refuses to be part of your fake life. She has faced herself. You know, when I was growing up, it was so easy for us to condemn those girls that were not smoking and clubbing and, you know, doing the fashion that we were not old enough to do as Egbe. Today, all those Egbes in life are doing greater things with their lives. And some of us have died on the street. Some were lucky enough, like me, to realize that that was because of my social, economic background and careless parenting. And some refused to. Live on your terms. You see somebody that is working out 24/7. How can somebody like that, you are Musa, use the excuse that she had gone to Esabod, that she had gone to Esabod's platform to pray for Lizzie? Can't you see the hypocrisy? to all blackmailers around the world, we are no longer afraid of you. Our government is pressing us on one side. The terrorists are fronting their crazy gains on another side, and you come in between all around us, trying to drive us crazy with your oppression. Sorosoke generation, this is the real time to Sorosoke. For every Nollywood actor that refuses to acknowledge that some of them are bad, corrupt, and ganged up together, realizing that Yoruba Nollywood life is nothing but poverty prone. If you don't advance your courses like Funke Akindele, to what business if you could to mo bo se nse, to de je omo to ni ìtẹríba, she knows how to sustain and maintain herself. She acts respectfully. She spends within her means. God opened the door for her. See, the same way Amen Estate, those people gave Funke Akindele a chance because she deserves it. That is the same way Lizzie Anjorin Lawal found favor after you all gathered and tried to kill her. What you did to her and what you have been doing to a marriage, to a child, and Lizzie Shepe, that is how hypocritical you are. Lizzie Shepe abi Lizzie Dakpada, you have to speak it back into their lives. Nobody is afraid of all those. You bullies, you killers in broad daylight. Terrorist, how about the terrorist that has been on our cyberspace for so many years? Omobunida and Kigbe with date and time and evidence how Gistlover was getting paid, how Jokotade had gotten paid, how Esabod was getting paid, how Dr. Adeyinka's lawyer was the one and Amayowa gave her when she went to London. I then saw. Yet, like Biola Zerel, you go into people's inboxes and you are saying they are pushing Lizzie. Who is pushing Lizzie? That is how you want people to be quiet and get killed. You saw what Tope Alabi did when she went over to her, trying to disgrace her on the day of a celebration. My sister was trying to introduce me to Tope Alabi when she came with her children. You Christians are just as bad as the Muslims. Religion has blinded your eyes. You do evil, you think you're better than others. She said, I don't need to know people like her. Yet I was listening to her interview when she was talking about how she had come to meet her husband. We all have challenges. We have more in common that unites us than separates us. But your jealousy, an average Nigerian doesn't respect life unless you can benefit from life. From the pocket of that person. I don't know Lizzie Anjorin. And you know, let's me more. And I have friends today that we don't discuss it. But in the myopic view, I know how much of myself I expose to them because they are not good people either. Let all my friends listen. You are not good people. You are crying over Nigeria. Some of you have not even spoken and you have platform about how our children are getting killed. You will stand by and just hoping that this, what you call nonsense, will pass so you can continue to try to break through, which is what all of us are doing. But the fact that we're looking for prosperity, the fact that we're trying to get known and get recognized does not mean that we don't talk about what affects all of us. There are international syndicates in Nigeria. People who cyber capture or life capture rich people, either with information they have on them for blackmail or threats. Threats to life and property. And when they do it in the DM like Gistlover usually does, and they don't pay up, Iyabo Ojo will come out, forming different WhatsApp group, and people like her all around the world, desperate for the destruction of another person. Give me one thing that Lizzie Anjorin did to you. Ogbako. Do you realize that Alhaji Lateef never married? Fola. Báwo lọ̀rọ̀ mo fẹ́ jẹ biscuit lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ti gba millions of naira fún, even in dollars? Báwo ni o ṣe tán after 10 years? Don't you all realize, can't you get pẹ́rọ ti jọ̀rọ̀ biscuit wọn gbọ́pọ̀lọ́? Fola was another tool Iyabo Ojo and the rest of them could use. A lot of you, if your friend as much as said I to your husband's ex-wife, I'm not even talking of girlfriend, you will stop talking to them because you will say you don't know who to trust. Fola was never married to Alhaji Lateef. The DNA has proven that all the 4 children, which they couldn't even make up their mind about, are not Alhaji Lateef Lawal's children. So where is the hatred still coming from? Why are you still hating this woman, planning to kill her, going to her house in the middle of the night trying to kidnap her? Why is the life of Lizzie Anjorin, her children and family in danger? Yes, Alhaji was married. Alhaji was married to Yoni Moimoi, and Alhaji was married to the other mother. But I'd been dating Lizzie, and Lizzie was able to visit them. I don't care. But that is their life. It's a Muslim thing. Even some Christians marry 5, 6 wives. What is your business in other people's bedroom matters? Even after you discovered, like Alhaji said, but for now, there's 1 naira, the 10 naira. If you get half the help that Fola has gotten, where would you be? You all watch Iyabo Ojo destroy the social status in Nigeria. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tó ń dòdòkúdò pátápátá tán fẹ́ ṣe DNA tán ní wàhálà nínú marriage wọn. You will always see my sister there, Iyabo Ojo, because I don't hate her. I hate every way and method that she uses, but I don't hate her. And I pray every day that she will change or she will get destroyed. Why do you think the elite, the people that God has blessed up there, prefer Lizzie Anjorin to Iyabo Ojo? Because they know, if you bring people like that close and you have something to lose, they will turn against and destroy you. Even with all the proof of VDM's exposure of Iyabo Ojo, some of you that carry something in your hands are still not afraid and ashamed to be seen with her. I have never done that. Even my sister that is close to all of you knows I cut her off by choice because she's close to all of you. People like that will suffocate people like me for getting known for false gain. You all won't educate yourselves. You haven't really learned to trade. Not the one that you can. See, let me tell you something about skills. Skills have transferable value. When you say you want to go to get a job or you start in a company from the bottom up, because there are companies that promote within, it is not every place in the world that your life's experiences can be translated to equal position once you leave that place. I did nothing. Anywhere in the world, I just need to take the state board and I will be a nurse as always. But you say you have learned theater. You didn't go to the university to get a degree in your theater arts. So when you get frustrated, you cannot live because you have not truly gone into theater the right way. You went into it the cheap way. You can't speak English. You only speak your Yoruba. You can't write English. So why will you not be frustrated? Yet, there is nothing. God says that the little mustard seed he will bless. Yet that little mustard seed, you keep throwing onto the pathway and birds keep picking it up. Why don't you rebrand the Nigerian Yoruba Nollywood theater group? Why have you turned to just like the people on the street? Maybe it is high time the Yoruba Nollywood group shut off and only hire people from universities that have taken extra time to put in money, not just time, to become theater practitioners. Because when I see people like Kola Adekola and Ibrahim Chatta and Oman do me, Oman destroy, hurt me, that they are in the same thing, the same group called the Yoruba theater practitioners. Àwọn olóye, àwọn onímọ̀, àwọn Chief Kosoko ilẹ̀ ni mo wà o, àwọn Baba Bello. These people fought so hard. Only fáwọn ọmọ jakujaku tó ń bọ̀ látẹ̀yìn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ wá pa gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́. Àwọn ìyá Rainbow, ìyá Wẹ̀rọ, àwọn tínú wa máa ń dùn pé kábíyèsí Yorùbá onílàkàyè, ẹ̀yin ọmọ jádàdàdà rédèrèdè tẹ́ẹ̀rí lè tó dá jáde. Tó jẹ́ pé ìpolówó òbò lẹ́ ń fi tíátà ṣe. Tẹ́ wá fẹ́ gbàyé kan. No more, we're not afraid of you. Tó nǹkan tó bá múrú yín tó mọ́rú ẹ sábọ́ọ̀dù olórí burúkú nìyí. You can go anywhere to laugh, then be ready to pay for the consequences of those that Esabod is destroying while you are laughing. Jokotade ọmọláwá ń sin ni ọmọ Yaba ni mí. Mi ò ní nǹkan kan láti bá ìsọ rárá màmá síta. Your antecedents ó wà lórí Facebook olórí burúkú ní gbogbo yín. Ẹ dẹ̀ fẹ́ sọ àárọ̀ dọ̀sán mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Gbogbo ayé dẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rù yín ẹ̀ ń dún màwú. Wá ní tìjú. God has said it that in the end times you will lose shame. What I'm saying is, àwa ò ní dákẹ́. It's like asking Nigerians to face front while the government is killing us and the terrorists are flaunting. This provocation is too much. Èpè dẹ̀ ń wà, èèyàn kan ní òun ṣe activist, swarivist lòun. Èmi ò kí ń ṣe swarivist, because when I have a point to make, I must say it with some show of intelligence, so I don't discourage those I'm looking for help before. Are you hearing me? Somebody shout hallelujah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ayé ká máa ṣépè fúnra wa kọ́ lélẹ́yìí. I will come and I will analyze how things are. Dayo. Oro ọmọ ni o, ojí ni o, wọ́n fún ẹni o, ogbóyún ẹni o. You are the legally recognized mother. Báwo ló ṣe ṣe báyìí? The only thing tó ń jẹ́ kí n máa doubt bóyá wọ́n ló bí ọmọ yẹn ni pé kò sí abiyamọ tó máa fi ikùn ẹ̀rù oyún fún oṣù 9 tó máa lọ tigi bọ́ àwọn ayé tó lè bá yé ọmọ yẹn jẹ́ lójú. Kò sí abiyamọ tó lè ṣe. Àbúrò, you missed this one. You, with releasing that voice note, ó ṣòpó òun wá validation, ó ṣòpó òun bá wọn kan gang up ṣiṣẹ́, ó ṣòpó òun ní tíjú, ó ṣòpó ọmọ tó ń gbéra náà ní ẹ́, ó ṣòpé bó ṣe wà yìí, gbogbo yín bẹ́ ṣe máa ń sọ ẹlẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀, okra for okra, lóòótọ́ ni. Jẹ́ kó okra ti ẹ̀yẹn kó fà dáadáa, torí mi máa fọ̀gbọ̀nà mix tèmi. Mi ò kí ń ṣépè, mi ò ní babaláwo tí mo lọ bá, bọ̀ ó tọ̀rọ̀ máa gbè mí. Gbogbo nǹkan tí ń bá dẹ̀ ń sọ́n bí láyé tó bá jẹ́ pé rọ́ ni mo pa kó jẹ́ tèmi. You are all syndicates of blackmailers. Lizzy Anjorin ò ní san kọ́bọ̀ fún yín. Owó tó ń gbà through Gistlover kò ní dọ́dọ̀ yín. You understand? No more blackmailing. No more. You can try but it will not succeed. Lizzy cannot travel in Nigeria without at least 6 to 10 armed security guards. Ó sá fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin Yorùbá pátápátá, ó sá sábẹ́ Ìgbò àti Hausa. Sì fi lọ́rùn lẹ̀. Nollywood actors, you have blackmailers in your midst. You all had working, prosperous ones, and that have value upon your lives. No. That if you had just stayed with acting, you wouldn't make money. So those who are not doing ambassadorship have decided to add good character. You have godfathers and godmothers that you bow down before, that sponsor you when the movie industry dries up. There are most of your ladies there dating governors, dating senators, traveling around the world, marrying Oyibo just to break the eventide. There is nothing wrong with that. That is clean hustle according to your conscience. But there are some of you that gathered together and they've been victimizing rich Nigerians, going into the DM through Gistlover. And when Gistlover will pay, she will settle the blogs, places like TVC, Punch, Vanguard have become their networking destructive vehicles in broad daylight. Okay, when you found out that when they were chasing the terrorist, he ended up in Gumi's house. And Gumi now is your vice president. Everybody that has spoken against Gumi either disappear or have died. What are you talking about? Then we screamed. It was Nigerians that got together to show the proof of Christian genocide. Even though, don't you know the way blackmailers work? They will kill 200 Christians and manage to kill 3 Muslims. And then they want to change the narrative that we don't have a Christian genocide. Christian, Muslim, now everybody's unsafe. And that is how evil starts. Evil begins very small. And then it spreads and you can't control it. You watch your own brother outside of Lizzie get victimized. And you justify yourself because you did not benefit from his money that he worked for. An average Nigerian is an evil person, a Fibo. Let me tell you, I have always known that you are. All the men around me when I first came here in 1996, from Providence, Rhode Island to Maryland, to all of them would want to sleep with me. They would tell me stories of, if I met you first, I would have married you. And when I, with the conscience, except for my friend, she got that formula. And she and her husband would stand and fight for me. That this girl has not offended you. Why is it that everywhere, at Nikel, at everybody, especially the Yoruba ones, when a man says me, it is me that is begging them to sleep with me. And you will believe. Come on now. How many of you have lost your good friends for that? When your husbands come home to tell you the wrong story about your friend that they have been trying to sleep with behind your back, that turned them down, and they now come into the house and turn you into enemies with her. Did that marriage not eventually break? I hope some of you have the decency to go back to those friends you have wrongly accused and know that you were tied up with your enemies. Lizzie Anjorin did not take anybody's husband. She didn't. Fola was never married to Alaji. She came, she said 4 children. Then it was 3, then it was 2, then it was 1. Until today, no DNA. Why do you join hands? God says, if there be just one man in this city, it would spare Sodom and Gomorrah. And that is why I stand and I fight, because you are not thinking like God. You are thinking like the devil. The devil will say, I just want to see things destroyed. You Nigerians will say, we don't even know who to believe. And it doesn't matter. Let all of them get destroyed. Rather than you stand on the side of truth. You would rather see all of them destroyed. Esabod doesn't mean anything to you. Dorcas Adeyinka means nothing to you. Joko Tade means nothing, absolutely nothing to you. Even Fola herself means nothing to you. Neither does Lizzie. That is how neutral, unkind, evil you are. When I have dispute and I go to anybody, either Silver Hill or anything within the family, and they say, you just forgive one another, and on your joy, go and search it out. I know that elderly person is a motherfucking bastard. I know God has not given them the wisdom to hear out what is going on and to feel the pain that I'm expressing. You know what I'm talking about. Anytime you say they are all the same thing, it's because you are hiding away from the truth. And that those people that you have selectively decided to live to destroy one another don't mean anything to you. So who tells you that your opinion means something to me? You know how many times on this social media we have seen Baba, same father, same mother, brothers and sisters sell their own to blackmailers, be the ones to kidnap their nieces and nephews and ask for ransom. How many times have you seen the Nigerian that eventually was exposed as the killer carrying the coffin, mourning, searching for the person that he killed? I used to think that we were not capable of things like this. Every Nigerian must pray the prayer to be able to stand alone and for God to give you, him or she, her, they, the ability for God to show. See, waiting for your destiny helpers is not going to work. You have to know those who feel the vibes that you feel and try to impress them so that they can come to help you. Only prayers will not do it. Because as Nigerians, we are disillusioned. We are afraid of one another. We don't trust one another. You will be the one to contact me and say, I need help. As much as I don't like the begging. I will go to your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I will ask the people that can give me your history. Because we have turned God into a liar. With an attitude and the refusal to accept how the natural things in Nigeria have become unnatural. How the people that have something in their lives to live need to be afraid of the poor. Then you will die in poverty. Do you understand me? I'm in America, trying to press. No, Lizzie and Jeremy is not one of them. But trying to, with coming here, I've told you, social media is an audition stage. All the people that you see making it were impressed. They had to impress those that came to their rescue. Nobody is that rich, and even if they are, nobody's heart is that warm these days enough to just say, let me bless her. No! You bring your best foot forward. You show that you're not going to be like that which God says that when I give you my pearls, you're going to turn around to devour you. Maybe you're not talking to a lot of your friends, but if you think we're all the same with all that's going on with this blackmailers and Nigeria situation, you're a liar. There was a girl I saw crying. She said, hey, Loni Mongba, I am a maid in Egypt. She sleeps in the kitchen. And the brother called and said his wife was sick. And she gathered together. She had just finished paying a sponsor. And she sent 50,000 naira. And the brother came into the inbox and said, this was number 7. She was the 7th of, number 7 last one. But none of the 6 brothers and sisters up front not showed it. Threw herself into the wilderness to be a maid in Egypt. She managed to give that 50,000, and the brother said, only 50,000. You know what she said? She said she was crying, not because of what the brother said, but because she wished when the brother asked, she had not sent him a dime. And that from that angle, it will never see a penny that she presses. Let me advise you. If you have seen favor from anybody, if anybody as much as helped you with 10,000 naira, and you think that gives you the right and that stupid sense of entitlement you all carry, to tell them, I have heard it so many times that I no more. I'll go to Nigeria. àwọn ọ̀yá táwọn ọmọ wọn ò ṣoríire tán rí gbígbà lọ àbáwọn tọmọ wọn gan tiẹ̀ ṣoríire tán lójú kòkòrò àwọn àti èkó wọ́n máa rìn kiri. You will now manage to give them money. They will say this is not my money, it is too small. Àwọn ọ̀yá àjẹ́ owó iṣẹ́ wo lẹ ṣe sí wa lọ́wọ́ o. Àwọn ọmọ yín tán ti ṣoríire káwa tó dé lu òyìnbó èèlò lówó tẹ́ ẹ fún wa rí o. Because it is that time ká máa bèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa ń sìn. And you kids who abandoned your mothers. And ìyá mi ṣe function, your mother is functioning, going to people's offices happy. Iṣẹ́ olóògbé fún pín yàrá ìyá ẹ̀ tó ń ṣe ń lé. Wọ́n wá di beggar. Once they see you, even here in Houston, once they see you, some of them expect that you will give them money. Èmi máa ń gbójú o. Torí ń gbà mí $20 péré ló wà lọ́wọ́ mi ò ti torí wọn lọ sí àkáǹtì lọ́pọ̀ ATM. I will not, because I'm going to party, start looking for money to pay some mothers. Tí gbogbo ayé ń dájọ́, but I will not, because ojú àánú tán rí èmi ò rí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bára wa sọ tọrọ. I don't need you at my parties. I don't need you to validate me. Ǹjẹ́ wá ṣe party mọ́. Party yín tó bá wù mí máa wá, tó bá wù mí mi ò ní wá. We are not honest enough about how much we don't mean to one another. Some of you have devised means to have 2020 vision in your times of trouble, who to go to, and have that blind sight for the people you are going to. It was on here that Segun Akim Olaleye came saying, I know Segun. We're not friends. He's always respected me, but I know his pattern. Even from the days before he got married, Segun grew so big in my eyes. I know how you motherfucking Nigerians gave him a name that was not his own because of his natural tendencies. You know how you tried to destroy him. Segun Gele Akim Olaleye made his name, his life, his money on his own. Only right láti jáde wá. Pẹ̀yìn tẹ́ ẹ bá ń ṣe business, tẹ́ ẹ jẹun lówó tẹ́ ẹ san. The worst thing you can do is not patronize him, but life is turn by turn. If you stop patronizing him, God will lift up àwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́, àwọn tó láàánú, wọ́n máa bá nínú àjọ ayé ẹ̀. Yorubas are the most difficult people. And I know that everywhere blood runs, these things tend to happen. But it just hits home more when your own people are the ones trying to kill you for no reason. I ask, who started cursing the children? It wasn't Lizzie Anjorin. It was Hezabad. Triggered and motivated by her connection with Iyabo Ojo. Hezabad abused and Lizzie came out. Iyabo Ojo's and Lizzie's fight, I wouldn't have said a word because but now that you, the terrorist of the Nigerian social media, in your poverty, or hope to be recognized and given ambassadorship, at a mountain ambassador fún wọn tó kankan, wọn tí tó nǹkan náà ẹsẹ̀ Lizzie. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ń dù láti jẹ́ ambassador, relevance wo lẹ rí àwọn tó ṣe ambassador fún irú wọn lánàá. What they get, I've always been a proponent of fame without money is madness. Because even if you want to rationalize that once you get the fame, you will begin to reap. You have not done anything positive than travel around the world and fuck everybody you can find. Eta brati. Eta pepe sukti. I saw when Nkechi came here. Oh no, one lunch, sweater line, a big clothing line, t-shirt and hat. That is good business. But hey, my bata your jacket in very big balo. All of you! I have a sister in Houston. Ogene, Bukai, you know how much I love you. Ọjọ́ tí mo ti gbọ́ pé tí Iyabo Ojo bá wá, ìwọ ló máa ń gbé kiri. Sister mi, ó dẹ̀ jara wẹ̀. I'm not trying to tell people not to deal with people. I'm just trying to let you know what is causing this thing. I will call and say, òun ṣe movie gbà, ó lè jẹ́ $50, fi oúnjẹ fáwọn staff ẹ̀. Ìyẹn ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́. because ẹni tó bá ti ń bẹ́ni ibi rìn ó ní tendency either kó má kíá ẹni tó kú àbí kóun náà níwà bí lọ́wọ́. Let us begin holding one another accountable. If I can hold my own blood accountable for knowing people like Iyabo Ojo. Ọjọ́ tí mo ti gbọ́ tó pé tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, I said it and she said one thing else. Mo mọ̀ pa àlè gbé because ó lè pa mí. Somebody like Iyabo is so manipulative, kò sẹ́ni tí ò lè lò. Once you open your door, she will crawl in. Because kò sẹ́ni tí ò láṣìírí. Kò sẹ́ni tí ò ní nǹkan tó ń ti lójú tó fi ń bò. Only very few of us. And that is why we have remain this small and unsatisfied. You at home in Nigeria, you don't understand the climate and the environmental blessings that a place like Nigeria is to you. So most of you have come to visit. Nobody cares about you. Oh, nobody gives a fuck about you. You understand? Nigeria, you have kind godfathers, kind God, you still have them. At least one son wobo ati furo tondo. Ibi bai to let us tell each other the truth. Because you lori buruku alive de ayegbe. You have turned every kind person in Nigeria to be too careful. If you go to Nigeria right now, unless you have a contact to take you to where the successful ones are, you will just be seeing you can have 10 million people around you. The poverty in Nigeria, it's not just oloride to make a muso. Kò sẹ́ni tó ní hope. Ẹ wá dàbí ọgbà wèrè. Ẹ dàbí ẹni tó wà láàrin kìnìún tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ yára yín jẹ. That crab mentality tó bá ti gùn kìdí ẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ fà á bọ̀. Tó bá ṣí ṣọ́ọ̀bù lẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ rán wọn lọ rọ́ọ̀bù ẹ̀. Tó bá ti ń lọ lọ́nà kan dènà dé. That is all that you have turned to. Terrorists! Of the few that carry dreams amongst you. This is a warning to fathers and mothers would love to go to check the stars of their children. Don't take your friend with you. I don't believe in such things, but like I said, my belief is not what the world runs on. Don't take your friend with you when you go to check the stars of your children. Don't take their siblings. Those are the kind of information that a parent will know. Ìyá, mo sínú fún ara ẹ̀. Ó lè má sọ fọ́kọ ẹ̀ pàápàá tó bá jọ́kùnrin oníṣìná ni kó má lọ gbé sọ fẹ́lòmíì. You have destroyed your own children with your own hands. Ibi tẹ́ ti ń jàǹbá lẹ́nu. Ìràwọ̀ ẹ̀ ló máa ṣàìnú. Ìràwọ̀ ẹ̀ ló máa ṣàìnú. Do you know there are a lot of evil amongst us and our ground? No, Nigeria is not just bleeding. Nigeria is drowning in the blood of the innocent. What we're bleeding out is what we put in the ground. I'm going to repeat that. The blood that is flowing from the Nigeria that is bleeding, you are not asking because Nigeria in itself is an inanimate object. Where is the blood coming from? It is the blood that you stood by and watched put into the ground unjustifiably. The blood of the innocent and speakers like myself. The blood of activists and those who refuse to play ball. Nigeria is bleeding out. The blood that your hypocrisy and your wickedness put into the ground. Are you listening to me? Nigeria is bleeding out. The blood that your wickedness, your hypocrisy, your standoffishness has put into the ground. Your refusal to speak, your refusal to have continuity. You speak once and it's over. And you want to justify, why are you fighting for Liz Anjorin? Because that could have been me. Because I still have people in Nigeria that I care about. And I've refused to show their faces in limelight that could have saved them and my family from poverty for fear of people that cyberbully, cyber kidnap, and cyber extort through Gistlover and her kind. Gistlover and I and everything that is ever affiliated with will be enemies until we die. It is not new. And every 419 around me, or those that I know that used to be and still have the trait, will never find peace where I am. I will not just disrepute you before those that matter, that are waiting to give you opportunities. I will do it to your faces. So I hope most of you blackmailers are ready to become murderers, because the only way you are going to shut me up is if you can get me killed. I would rather die for something than live for nothing. This weight that I carry is too big. It is too hard to watch you attack from every side. You say, Fola Ole Jale. We all know that stealing by trick is what you call it. When you pay a vendor to buy from her, and for months, look, there is nothing wrong in having delayed delivery. Learn this as a lesson today. You must have constant communication and good communication. If I buy, let me use me. If I am selling this Tupperware and you paid for it, and I have ordered that Tupperware thinking it would take 2 days, and it takes 10 days. As a merchant, when you call me, all I owe you constantly, consistently, and always is to keep explaining myself. Please, ma, don't be upset. You know, I tried. I will even put you on a 2-way call where I'm talking to the merchant. I will do voice note and play it for you to know that I am talking to the merchant. Because, you have to start business small from somewhere. You don't always have to start rich. So, most times, I will collect from those who really have to sell and had just a little money. And sometimes they give you, my sister does dry cleaning here. She registered the company. So when she shows that license, that the dry cleaners, professional, huge companies around here give her discount. Say they give it out to you and I for $5. They will give it to her for $4. Recognizing the space of her gain. Now, she will give it to those people maybe for $5.50 for the effort of going to the different houses to pick those outfits up and go drop it for them. We have to do business that way. Nothing wrong. But if I call you as a customer and you think you're too big to recognize that it is my hard-earned money you are holding, you have left room open to be called the name that is not your own. It was easy for you. Till today, TVC and you bunch of hypocrites have not been able to produce the gold that Lizzie stole. It was easy because of your jealousy and failures in your life. Saying, non-entity, you shameless idiot. It was easy for you to call Lizzie Anjorin a thief and a dumota. And it was easy for Tony Abraham and all our crew to go to that same spot. I'm not going to call you all the nicknames they call you, because, like it or not, I may tell you I'm not in FACAS. I am affiliated in FACAS. Because if your mothers were raped or your fathers were killed, you would become victims along with them. My son was murdered. I am the mother of a murdered victim. Are you getting it? So we are all more interrelated than we want to admit. I just wanted you to know that aye bragado shakarati koja kelo right ibi iṣẹ́ mi kelo competition kelo gbé photo kan wá ke fi AI ṣe kelo yan Elizabeth nìyẹn tí gbogbo yín dẹ̀ ní hoho. I love you. From Iyabo Ojo to Esabod to Joko Tade, ó dàbí ẹni pé yín tí ó ti fẹ́ bàjẹ́ fúnnú ayé tẹ́ ti fi hoho yín síta pẹ̀lú ọwọ́ ara yín ẹ wá kọríjọ even Dorcas Adéyínká. Gbogbo yín wá jẹ́ olórí burúkú sórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì 10 years ago lẹ́pẹ́. Don't you know that stagnancy is a curse? Tó o bá ti ń gbáyàn tó ti ń jẹ lọ tètè count to blessing kó lọ. I was watching a lady. What she did was the approval again. Let me tell you how that game worked. She will get together a crew, about 6 or 7 of them, and distribute them, disperse them into different stores. They don't deal with small money. This was a big thing in the 90s, and I'm sure some people are still doing it. I hope they stop. And they will go with American Express cards into stores and buy purchases, and the purchase, Agba Kunilo, declined. And she will insist on talking to the card company. And these cards were formed. They were not really American Express cards. They were Genje cards, Oluwole cards. And the salesperson will call the number on the back of the card and would have been talking to the boss of this mafia group. And she will give them a 6-digit approval number. And that person will walk out of the store with over $65,000 worth of merchandise. She got caught 7 years in prison, and she came out and was crying. My child was 4 when I left. My child was this. How come? We can love one another a lot. But when you do criminal act, we must also have the heart to break that bond and let those that have committed crimes pay penalties for their actions. Over 400 terrorists have been arrested, and the government has dared trial to no one. We understand your fear, but what we don't understand is your ability and guts to pay them on camera, to attend their funeral procession, their naming ceremony, their bridal, marital processions and functions. And you are telling us that we should still continue to understand because you're afraid and your hands are tied. Tinubu's cabinet, somebody leaked a picture at the meeting where Baba Sokpa saying don't phone she. Sisi Remi Wajade, you say we should be happy that you managed to keep your husband, the president, awake enough for him to hear your plea to give Nnamdi Kanu life instead of death. When the kids the other day refused to sing Nawa Mama Be This Yo, you were ready to watch the school spoil the future of those children because they didn't call you Mama. And since this war has started, you may have something to say about Madam Goodluck Jonathan. But she had a heart. She was a woman of passion. I made a video for Papa Tinubu before you became president. My family went crazy on me. They were begging me. Now I see those people calling around that they had affiliation, ties, and benefit to you. And these family members that called me, couple. They are the part of family that thought we would never make anything of our lives. Have the sense to know who you're listening to. Look inside your houses and see why you have not become anything much more than you are. Look at the voices that you're listening to. I needed to draw the parallel between the terrorist and Gumi, the presidency and the helpless Nigerians. Now you are no longer helpless. You are just afraid. But in your fear, some of you have known what to do to prepare. It is better to die for something than to live for nothing. Prayers alone won't do it. And I'm not telling you to go attack anybody. But you have a right to protect yourselves. Even if the government will keep on putting us on on the death penalty list for fighting back and killing terrorists that came with the cows. When as the value of minerals and petroleum superseded the blood in our veins. I've been fighting and prepared for a day like this because all my life I have taken the time to understand the history of my country, which half of you don't know. You know more about the British colony than you know about the history of Nigeria. If you learn the history of Nigeria, you will understand that injustice is not a new thing. When did you last remember Delegiwa? When did you talk of Kensarowiwa? When did you ever sit down to realize that as Muslim as Chief Alhaji MKO was, he was killed in prison because the part of his heart that had wanted that power so much suddenly began to realize that he could not become an animal in full and it wouldn't go all the way. They've been trying to Islamize Nigeria for a long time. I told you my grandfather was Islamic. It's like here, the most wicked people to you are the other race married to Nigerians. And when they get to work and treat you with the indirect hatred and regret they have for having married one, you hear, I'm not racist, after all, I'm married to a black man. No! That is when I recognize where your problem is coming from. I'm not begging anybody to stop pushing and trying to hurt Lizzie Anjorin. I'm just trying to say, with your effort, collective effort, God has begun to make a show of you openly. Because we can see when it is dangerous right now. If you are abroad and you have made something of your life, or you're a Nigerian that gets a break, leave! Sakuro nibito dagbasi. Salo sibiton timu Rale sokere to ni strong gate and iris because I want to walari and yellow mark by. Don't take water from them. Don't take food from them. Open your eyes. Kò sí bí gbogbo wọn ṣe lè nífẹ̀ẹ́ èèyàn kan àbí méjì lọ́lọ́ máa yọ̀ǹda fún ẹ níbi tó ti dàgbà, nílé tó ti jáde. If you make progress in your life and you are successful, you can go visit them guided by police. Kò ta wọ́n láàánú bí oníbàárà kò ṣe wọ́n lóore. But if you stay in the midst, they will destroy you. That is why when the friends of Ashake, Ton Shorire, Ton Shiwa in Lagos Island, now Omasa Ademola Takpanlari, Asholi Alari Lolori Ashoke. Who is asking you? It become Leon Timbere. It become Leon Timbere. But if you're a Nigerian and you become successful, please protect your life. Protect the lives of your children. Because even the money you carry must be planted again to birth more. But Nigerians, once they hear you have hit, they want their own share. They will put hand in it until Tomba Swedi Tabishida. I don't know what audacity grown men and women would expect that you will be the one to feed them. And then when you give them the money, they measure it according to the hugeness of your wealth and think they deserve more. No gratitude, no value for life. They can off you anytime. You think your Versace's and your fake life impresses anybody. I know that I cannot sign my name on your checks, even if you were richer. I know people that are bigger. Yala jayo de leti like mommy. Tori mi no worry dodo yin. Mo fe ka pera wa sakiyesi laaro yin. Why God seems to not be answering our prayers, and why, with so much blood bleeding out, the supply has never ceased. Our leaders have grown colder in their hearts by the day. Àwọn tó ń ṣe wá láàánú gan wọ́n ti tilẹ̀kùn. Because we, with most of your attitude, call those things upon ourselves. Nigeria is not bleeding from invincibility. It is bleeding out. And the voices of the innocent that have been killed while you continue on in life, the clock and the chicken, you call it, have come home to roast. Yàtọ̀ sí ká tọrọ ìdáríjì ẹ̀ṣẹ̀. Ká dẹ̀ máa bára wa rò nínú wa ibi tá ti ṣìṣe. Àwọn tẹ́ ẹ ti fẹnu ba yé ẹ̀jẹ̀. Kẹ́ ẹ bọ́ sí kọ̀rọ̀ yàrá yìí. If the shame doesn't let you, admit it publicly. But if you can, these are the days of truth. God will not listen until we all die off. If we continue to deny the things that we see, the evidence that it is very easy for Nigerians to believe lies about you. And no matter how much you explain to them, it will always be 50-50. Because it is in your nature to hate without reason. And what you hate are the people you desire. You become. I mean, let's admit it. It is hard to be outside in Nigeria and looking at home at people like Liz Anjorin. For a lot of you. But see, people like me, inumi mandu me that all hope is not lost. Iwa! I know you work hard every day, but how kind are you to other people? Kindness will always birth kindness. I'm going to tell you the story and let it go. This gentleman, Zach, has a gun shop. And he has all brands of guns. Except for the Sweet 16. That is the gun that he had been searching for the past 15 years. And this old man, a few days ago, old and bent over, probably in his 90s, managed to drive himself to a store. And he said, "Sir, here is this gun. I have drawn up the bill of sales. This is my father's gun. But my grandson loves hunting. It keeps him out of trouble. And I would like him to have outfit, but I can't afford it. I make just little from my retirement. Can you reach a deal with me to supply all the hunting gears here so that my grandson can have a wonderful Christmas? His father is somewhere out there. He doesn't care. He's running around." And the man looked at this old man. Zach looked at him and said, I can make that work. And he went around and picked so many for winter, for summer, all kinds of gadgets and outfits. And he handed it over to the man. And he quickly signed the paper. You know, it's the Sweet 16 gun he's been looking for 15 years. Sign paper here. They had a handshake. And the man turned around and went down the stairs, 2 steps. And he came back to him and he said, "Please, can I hold that gun for the very last time?" And he held the gun and he said, "Dad, you have always said that family is everything. You know I wouldn't have left this gun for nobody, but it has served its purpose, and you are still blessing me from behind the grave." And he took the gun and kissed it, touched it to his forehead, and handed it over to the man. And then he walked out the store. He got into his car. He had offloaded everything into his trunk. And as he tried to close his door, Zach stepped in. And he took the Sweet 16 that he's been looking for the past 15 years. You may not like guns. I love guns. I'm a gun girl. No? I go to the gun range. I love it. I have to protect myself. I'm not afraid of blood. You may be, because you're still in your secured world. Like somebody said, when you see a bird in a golden cage, it will be looking, forgetting that he's the one that is trapped, at the birds flying free like lunatics. We're in different worlds. I always recognize that. And he said, no, I can't keep the gun. He said, but my grandson needs all those things. Please, honestly, I'm not that attached to it anymore. And he said, no. He said, no. Your father gave you this gun. You recognize that your grandson matters to you. One day, this gun will be his. You let go of your possession. That he knows that in his heart that nothing in this world would have let it go. But he found a greater possession. His grandson. All the things that matter to you. All the cars and the houses and stuff. Who is your greatest possession? I'm asking you. And that man looked at Zach. And he jumped out of his car the best way that he could, because he couldn't run if he tried. He was bent over and hold and gave him a hug. And Zach said, with tears in his eyes, said, my father was there with me. I could feel him. Because what the man says is that a little kindness begat his kind. And he said that was the exact phrase his father used to tell him. So he knew that the father was there. All this sarikita, kabatomara nije, ntoripa feshorire. Some of you don't even know that the stepchildren you are trying to destroy are the ones that God has made the destiny helpers to your own children. God is never been a helpless landlord. The only reason we're seeing this thing we're seeing that you call fight, they should stop fighting, is because the people that have been victimized have refused to be quiet and afraid anymore. You don't see when they pinch them and cut them with knives. Even if when they come out into the open, you see the blood bleeding. You will say, where is the fingerprint? Even with receipts. And I'm going to leave one curse. Not just for Lizzie and Johnny. For everybody alive today. In Nigeria, and close to you, everybody close to me. To command the day, ni lara omo lakeji lai nidi, that just hate for hating's sake and will not desist until they see seemingly the destruction of that person. May destruction suddenly befall them and their children. May they never find kindness. May all their wisdoms be confused and turn into curses. May everything we do, every one of us as character, begin to turn inside out. I will explain that. You know when you do, it's from inside out to other people. May those things turn around. May they turn around to face us, confront us, and become our portion. Èmi ò lépè tí mo fẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ anybody o. Mo ní gbogbo ìwà ọwọ́ wa, gbogbo èrò ọkàn wa sí ẹlòmíràn kò jẹ́ tiwa. Kò jẹ́ tàwọn ọmọ wa. Àtèyí tó ṣì mú yàn lọ́wọ́, àtèyí tó ṣì rọ̀jò ọ̀hún, kò jẹ́ tàwọn ọmọ wa. Because I've realized that an average Nigerian doesn't care if it doesn't touch them. That's why I wrote the article overnight. Tí mò ń sọ fún ìyá rẹ̀ mi Tinubu. Àtẹ̀yìn senator tẹ́ ń lọ jẹ sumptuous meal. Pé títì yìí ń pọ̀ jù, provocation tẹ́ ń gbé wá sí Nàìjíríà yìí pọ̀ jù. Ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn tó sọ̀pàkọ sẹ́yìn. Ẹ̀yin ṣe pátí lọ bí ẹni pé ẹranko ló ń kú. Àwọn bandit náà, terrorist tó ní wọ́n ṣe bandit lásán, àwọn agbẹ̀mí ni wọ́n. Àwọn terrorist náà ń bọ́ sórí Facebook, wọ́n ṣe marriage lórí TikTok, wọ́n announce lórí Instagram. Owó tí ìpínyà láyà average Nigeria ń rírí, ẹ wo bọ́n ṣe ń ka owó. Kò ń ṣòwò ransom wọn, owó ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ń gbà, because they tend to kill the victim even after the bond and ransom has been paid. You are pushing hard, seriously, to where Nigerians will live nǹkan tó yẹ ká face. Ó dìgbà tán bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbé àwọn ọmọ yín pa. You senators all around the world, your children may be. Ó dìgbà tán bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní pa ẹ̀yin fúnra ara yín. Because the greatest place tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wá sí is called fearlessness. Where ìyá àbí bàbá máa dágbére fáwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ máa wá síbi tán ti lè rí yín pa. Tẹ́ bá ti ń gbé 20 police tẹ́lẹ̀, àwọn policemen tẹ́ ń gbé yẹn gangan, àwọn náà máa turn around, náà máa pa yín. Oh, your security, may God put confusion in their midst. May they begin to off you one by one. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo àwọn tẹ́ fi ṣe ṣọ́ra, tẹ́ ti mú lọ búra, káwọn náà gbẹ̀yìn kán lọ rí ìbúra yẹn kúrò, so that they can face you. Because we, the masses, now know that ayé wa ò jọ yín lójú. God can only destroy you guys from within. May your children that don't think like you begin to attempt to kill you. May they succeed, because ìjà àti ta ò lè ṣe mọ̀ pé mi ò lágbára kankan. I am begging God today. Pé àwọn ọ̀tá wa inú ilé wọn náà ti máa rí ṣòro. Inú ilé wọn lọ́lọ́run ti máa gbà bí wọn. God says, and judgment will begin first from his own house. Tó bá lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti inú ilé Olúwa, ó lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti inú ilé ìkan ẹyọ kankan wa. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am beginning to ask God that for every oppressor, every wicked heart in Nigeria, your children, your neighbors, your mates, your friends that don't think like you will be the one to begin to hold you accountable, since the outsiders cannot get to you. Am I inciting violence? Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́. Ní iṣẹ́ oníjàǹdùkú, mo kàn sọ fọ́lọ́run ni pé ìgbà tẹ́ bá fi wọ́n ni kó bá mi fi yìn fún yín. May your lives be an exact mirror of what you're doing to other people. I won't stop speaking for Lizzie Anjorin. Many voices have spoken for her in the past, and I will keep on using her example to parallel to your government, ineffective government. How dare you? Somebody will be there screaming, ó dìgbà tó bá pa tẹ́ bá pa. Báwo ni ẹ kú ewu ọmọ tó ṣe dé, I don't want you to talk to me. Lọ́mọ káàró òjíire ń bọ́mọ Ìjẹ̀bú ní. Tó o bá ní dáhùn ló ní dá. O ti wá gbé voicemail síta, voice note. I hope Alhaji Wasiu Ayinde and all the people that you are running tí gbogbo yín lọ bá, tẹ́ lọ ṣe oníbàárà lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀, I hope they blacklist you all. Because ẹ̀yin àgbárín wa, ẹ̀yin Alhaji kò sọ́kàn gbogbo yín, if you don't cut these people off, wọn ò ní mọ nǹkan táwọn ṣe o. Ibrahim Chatta, you are wise. All of you, lẹ lọ́gbọ́n, lẹ mọ nǹkan tẹ́ ń ṣe. You don't have to get involved. But neutrality is like the neutrality of Tinubu right now. It is high time you call a spade a spade. Mo sọ fún yín, ẹ̀mí máa bọ́ sí o. Ẹ̀mí máa bọ́ sí. Somebody needs to tell who is wrong and who is right. Fọlá ìkà ló ṣe o. Oh, bímọ f'Alhaji, and you let Iyabo use you this much. I never thought at first that she would be that, because I saw her as classy and àìmọye Miss World lábẹ́ bridge. àìmọye. Don't let those feelings you have for people be the weight with which you judge the wrongs or right against other people. Don't. Èmi ò ní pè sẹ́yìn ká o. Lizzy ò ní ìyá, kò ní bàbá, kò lẹ́gbọ̀n, kò lábúrò. Everybody she calls mommy. Ibi lọ́lọ́run ti gbé bá. Everybody she calls a friend or sister. Ibi lọ́lọ́run ti gbé bá. Nítorí yín, ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí ẹ ti débi ayọ̀. Ẹ tí ẹ ti débi oore. Lizzy ti win. Àwa tá ń sọ̀rọ̀ náà, a mọ̀ pé Lizzy ti win náà. Bí pín ìyá láyà kankan nínú yín rẹ̀. Ẹ lè jarun báyìí lára ẹ̀. We are only speaking for the sake of those that are still in your traps. And those that are buying your fake lives thinking that your kind of lifestyle. Tọ́ mọ̀ pé ń jalè kún, ẹ̀ ń gbẹ̀mí kún lábẹ́, ẹ̀ ń dá sáyé aláyé, ẹ̀ ń báyé aláyé jẹ́, pé kò ń ṣe tíátà tẹ̀ ń ṣe, kò ń ṣe blogging tẹ̀ ń ṣe, ló sọ yín dolóríire. Blogging kọ́ ló sọ VDM dolóríire o. Ìwà on hair and outside the hair is loyalty, is decency, is integrity, which is the selling point in other same countries. Hard work and integrity equals open doors and elevation. Not in Nigeria. Your integrity will make them want to kill you. Nigeria has devised expertise in turning the truth sayer to the victim, and then the liars and propaganda tools like the Nollywood actors and actresses into heroes. I am so sorry once again that you bear the same name. I wish there was another name I could give your industry. Nítorí ẹ̀yin alápọ̀nlé, you with dignity, decency, tí mo máa respect, tí máa fi kú. Ẹ kì í ṣe oníwọ̀ sí mi o. Àwọn tó wà involved in fracas, those are the ones I'm targeting. Mi ò lè ti torí pé mi ò fẹ́ ṣẹ̀yìn kí n wá fún wọn láyè to continue to grow. That was the problem initially. Nítorí wọ́n ti rape Ìyábọ̀ Òjó rí. If I now talk to her, àwọn tó ti rape rí tẹ́ gbójú jáde tẹ́ lè sọ nǹkan tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láyé yín, ẹ wọ́n fi yẹn hate Lizzy nítorí pé that was her last resort láti fi rape yẹn bú. Nítorí pé aṣọ fàyà mọ́ wọn lọ́rùn. Tó bá wá ń bú àwọn táṣọ fàyà mọ́ lọ́rùn, wàá wá sọ̀jà wọn di tiẹ̀. Nítorí pé o ṣàgàn, o rọmọ bí, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ sì lè ṣe lọ́la tó ṣì bí, but ó ṣe é láláyọ̀ láti rí àánú. Bówó yówó ló fi ṣe ni o, bóyá nǹkan kan ni o, ìwọ náà wá dẹni tó ń dé ẹni tó ń pè ẹ́ ní mọ́mì. Ó dẹ̀ jókòó ara ẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́. Òun wájà kiri ìgbàwo náà nífa ìrọ̀mọ́ bíbú ẹ. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ ní nǹkan tó jẹ́ kẹ́ máa wojú Ọlọ́run fún, ẹ wá sọra yín di terrorist. Ẹ wá fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn tẹ́ ń bú, tẹ́ fẹ́ bayé wọn jẹ́, tẹ́ ń competition mọ́ lójoojúmọ́, tẹ́ ń rán lọ sílé wọn lóru, tẹ́ ń dúnú rọ́mọ́ wọn, tẹ́ fẹ́ bà business wọn jẹ́, ẹ mọ̀ pé àti gba ìjẹ lẹ́nu èèyàn, tẹ́ fẹ́ bà reputation, tẹ́ ń defame lójoojúmọ́, ẹ fẹ́ kán ráyè jà. Nítorí gbogbo nǹkan tó wà lára yín pátápátá láti irun orí dé nǹkan náà ẹsẹ̀ báyìí. Èébú ni. Anẹ́dẹ̀ tí mo pa àwọn aláyé bàjẹ́, wọ́n pọ̀. Or just regular natural people don't mind business wọn, but àwọn náà nírú àlébù, irú challenges tẹ́ ní. You have counted on the thoughtlessness of the Nigerian masses to weaponize your fans, their lives against one person for more than 10 years. There was a time that it was almost 15,000 people watching Esabod. Ìyá tẹ́lẹ̀ pè ní ìyá yín. Nǹkan ti ṣe wá. Àwa náà dẹ̀ ti ṣe nǹkan. Repent. Think. Confront. Mo it's hard to confront those that you think can help you. 25,000, any 30 to Elenu. But the minute you find your voice and power, run. Because you know that those people that you're supporting are capable of killing you if you decide to turn around. You will see them on him. Who are you? Because you are counting the same way Tinubu, President Tinubu, security guard. You are counting on the likes of the people, and you have weaponized that into power. No, people need to speak up. And it all parents that know that everybody with blood in their veins. You need to speak out for this to stop. Not just for Lizzie Anjorin, for every victim around you. It is not a comedy. It is not skit. They are not pretending. They are not friends. It is one huge syndicate of enemies banking on your neutrality and callousness to think they're all the same, victimizing someone for over 10 years. She struggled from just dancing to openly becoming Christian, to openly wanting to be Muslim, to openly traditionalist. Oúnjẹ fún ayé ẹ lójú yín, ẹ dẹ̀ fọwọ́ rọ́gí gbàgbé. Bọ́n ṣe máa fọwọ́ rọ́gí gbàgbé lórí àwọn ọmọ yín tọ́jọ́ ìṣòro wọn bá dé. So, as much now, a ṣì máa bájọba wa wí, bá ṣe ń bá yín wí. Ní jẹ́ kí bẹ̀yẹn tẹ́gún mi lọ́rùn, a máa jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé a mọ̀ pé terrorist ni, is a terrorist sympathizer more than the kidnappers sympathizer. Kò kí à ń pa àwọn tó kú rárá. Tobacco 300 lọ, wọ́n náà ti fún yín 20 kẹlọ fọkàndé. That is exactly what you guys are doing to Lizzie Anjorin, and you have allowed done for the past 10 years. Àwọn tẹ́ mọ̀ pé wọ́n níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́. Àwọn tó yẹ pé láti bí àwọ̀ lẹ́tí rí pé wọ́n ti ṣorí burúkú. Àwọn tó ń kàwé tó yẹ pé skills tó ń kọ́ kò ṣe transfer. Bọ́ bá wá sí Amẹ́ríkà gbéyàgbéyà náà máa ṣe. Wọn ò ní qualification kankan tẹ́yìn try tẹ́ struggle ní. Wọn ò tún wá wà gallant, wọn ò good, wọn ò groom, wọn ò grow, wọn ò nurture. Láti bí pẹlẹbẹ tán ti mú. Kán ṣáà máa fi yan gbá yìí. Èmi ò ṣe ẹni tó kúrò mi ní góòlù, mi ní góòlù, one house. But you know I can have it, I can afford it. And since I did my 40th, tá ná almost $10,000 lórí aṣọ. Mo sọ pé mi ní rà mọ́. Ọjọ́ kan yẹn ni mo ti wọ̀, bóyá mo ti wọ̀ medium náà, and I changed over 8 times. Tí Barrister wá play bẹ́ẹ̀, I have lived that life. Mi ò like any. So there's none of you tó nírú ayé tí mo fẹ́ yá. I like my quiet English life. Because that is the kind of sobriety we need to exercise. They say you don't know a lot of things about life. Thanksgiving Day, tá à ń bá wọn celebrate yẹn. When the British came to America, the Native Americans were already here. And they were watching the English people die, struggling to cultivate a strange land that they were not familiar with. And being kind, the Native Americans took together their herbs and their balms and everything to welcome them into the community and teach them how to grow the crops and protect their lives and weather the storm. And the minute the British grew strong enough, this happened in 1860, whatever. Because Columbus never came to America. Columbus actually landed in Cuba, not America. These forefathers of the white Americans now decided they wanted to show gratitude to the Indians, the natives of the land. So they threw a big party and they introduced them for the first time to alcohol. They didn't know what that was. The Native Americans drank and drank and drank, got drunk. And when they were all sedated, the British got up and slaughtered all of them. Very few escaped. But do you know that till today, alcoholism is still the major problem of the Native American? The bitterness, the unforgiveness of how they were naive to think that the white man had come to save them. We're talking about we need help from outside Nigeria. You are talking about mineral resources. Are you doing solar energy? Kí ló kàn yín? Ọjọ́ wo lẹ́yìn ti rí mineral tó fi ṣe atomic bomb àti nuclear energy tó ti dá airport síbi tí mines wá wà tó ń kó jáde táwọn leaders wá ń kó sápò tí ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run ò dẹ̀ bà wọ́n rárá. When did the blood of your brothers not matter as much as your petrol and lithium that you can do shit with? That Ken Saro-Wiwa died for. When have you forgotten to know pé kíní tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láti gba ayé Babangida Mariam tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ pẹ̀lú Gloria Okon tí Delegiwa ní kàn lọ ya picture ẹ̀ wá London tó ń purọ́ pé Gloria Okon ti kú chíyẹn rẹ̀ only for her to be in London. Ó gba letter bomb. Till today, we all know those who do it by assumption, but nobody could follow the case through. How long has Nigeria been lackadaisic and just facing your front, doing your things and thinking society will not break down enough to dishonor your lives and steal the opportunities for your children to live affordable lives? Nobody is safe. I'm not worried so much about the bandit or the terrorist because I know who they are. It's you, the ordinary Nigerian, I'm worried about because you're failing to realize how the impact of the bloodiness, the traitorship, the lack of hope, hopelessness is changing us all. And the hearts of our children and what we're becoming. See, woman sọ pé before a woman leaves a marriage, she would have left a long time ago, not the day of the divorce. We are leaving our humanity behind. We're changing every day until we don't fear anymore. You think it is a joke that people are caught in situations that they drink each other's pee and eat each other's flesh to survive. Àdúrà nìkan lè ṣe. And I'm not saying go fight war. Àwọn èèyàn tó máa lè ṣe yẹn fáwọn tó ń fìyà jẹ wá wà níbi tán wà. God has equipped them. All I'm asking is that you stop denying the truth. Stop crucifying those that have not done anything. You have misplaced anger. Misplaced anger. Ó dàbọ̀ ọmọ tí ẹ̀ bá wí ni tó wá lọ ń fẹsẹ̀ gbógiri. You are killing the wrong people. Bringing your anger on social media against your brothers and sisters that we all need each other at this time. Because you have your own syndicate and your hopelessness has taught you to devise illegal means to oppress, beat and push and blackmail until people that have more than you are able to spit out. I know them. Àwọn onífóònù mẹ́jọ, mọ́tò mẹ́ta. Àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ but wọ́n mọ gbogbo ayé rí. Because those are the people that once used them. I know what I'm talking about. And you know that I know. You know, it is not enough knowing. Knowledge without implementation is useless. So this morning, I am demanding of us all to begin activating the knowledge that we know and making them churn out wisdoms beyond guns. No matter how much the government kills all the bandits, we will only again reproduce the same evil. Because the first war we need to win is in our mindset. Look out. Elizabeth Adela Shude. You will.